Good morning. This is Sunday Morning Live with me, Damien Calmet. And today we're starting our talks on the 12 steps. And this is Chip going to say hi. For the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing our talks at different locations. I'm not in my home studio, so next week I'll be in San Diego, coming to you from San Diego. But for a moment, we have so much going on in the world. Can we just stop for a moment and just take a deep breath? Just be in the present moment. Just be with me for the next few minutes. Today I wrote a special little affirmation, and what I wrote was this, and I actually have it on my Facebook page. So I'm going to go ahead and read it, and then you can go back and pick it up on there. It says, "Our inner guidance comes to us through our feelings and our body wisdom first, not through our intellectual understanding." Now, when it comes to drugs and sobriety and stuff, we all intellectually know we're not supposed to be doing that. But somehow we get on the track and we start doing it. The 12 steps, for them to work for us, we have to begin to make them personal. Now, the step one that we're going to talk about today says, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol. It comes from the AA, or drugs, whatever, or crystal meth, or heroin, whatever drug of choice you're using, that our lives had become unmanageable. So I'm going to say to you, what if? What if we rework that a little bit today and we make it personal? We say, I admitted that I am powerless over crystal meth and that my life has become unmanageable. See what a difference that is? You're taking ownership of this is, I have admitted it. It's not a group thing. It's like, this is my life. I've admitted this is where I'm at. I am powerless over this, and my life has become unmanageable. Now, we have the story in the Bible of the prodigal son, and it's a pretty good story. You know, he had all of stuff going on at home, and he and his dad were kind of on the outs, which doesn't be on the secret to anybody, the way we live our lives. And he decided to take his inheritance and go off and squander around. Now, what the Bible story tells us is that he came to himself. That's important. There was a moment of clarity that he came to himself when he had done all of his riotous living, when he had done all of his crystal meth stays, when he had done everything that he was done, all of his partying time, and he found himself in the pig pen. You know what I'm talking about? You find yourself in your car and you want to be thankful that you actually have your car because you can sleep in it. Or you find yourself couch surfing on somebody's couch and you're actually grateful for that, but you've lost everything and your life has become unmanageable. Now, this prodigal son, he came to himself and he said, my gosh, he said, I had it better when I was home. I'm going back home and I'm going to start over. We have a scripture in Romans 7:15, and it's Paul, the Apostle Paul. Paul says it this way, "For I do not understand my actions. For I do not do what I want, and I do the very thing I hate." In other words, I lie a lot, and I have no idea why I lie. I just lie to be lying. You know, it's an addict behavior. And come as you may, you try to stop it, and you try to do this. You say, okay, I'm not gonna do crystal meth anymore. I'm not gonna have alcohol anymore. I'm going to stop this madness. And the next thing you're doing, you're lying just to be lying, and you go, I don't know how this is happening. It has consumed you, and you're powerless, and your life is unmanageable. How do we get back on track? The first point is to admit, I cannot do this anymore. I need to turn my will, my life over to a power that is greater than myself, that will be able to help me through this. Now, in order to do this, we got to do a couple things. The same thinking that got you into addictive behaviors cannot be the same thinking that gets you out. Can I say that again? The same thinking that got you into addictive behaviors cannot be the same thinking that gets you out. There's 4 things that I have listed this morning for us to think about. Number 1 is radical honesty. Honesty. When you have the courage to stop and tell yourself and be honest where you are at, not sugarcoat it and say, well, you know what, I only smoke the pipe maybe once a week, or I only party on the weekends. But actually stop and say, I'm having radical honesty with myself, and I'm willing to go to where the pain of my addiction is, because all addiction has to do with pain. Then that is a beginning. And then step 2 is you want to have a open-mindedness. I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to be free, but I'm willing to try something new. I'm willing to do a program. I'm willing to have a sponsor if I need one. I'm willing to read books. I'm willing to try. And the third would be is willingness. And the 4th one would be acceptance, accept where you are. I talk a lot about mindfulness. And one of the things that I practice is I do note cards, 3x5 note cards. And this note card says, at this moment, I am free from drugs. And I want to say to you today, get some 3x5 cards, write an affirmation on it, tape it to your mirror, carry one in your wallet, take one with you, and whenever you feel the urge to use, or you feel the urge to relapse, pull your 3x5 card out and read it. Why? Why does that happen? The shamans of Hawaii have a practice, and I want to throw this practice out to you, because before you look at your spouse in the morning, before you get up and have coffee in the morning, before you do your meditation in the morning, begin to just breathe. And remember I was talking about the body wisdom and the feeling in your body? And as you begin to breathe, and just lay there and breathe and say, I'm breathing in freedom. I'm breathing in being free from drugs. I'm breathing in, and the shamans, whatever it is they're going to breathe, they will breathe it in, and they will breathe it out. Breathe it in, and breathe it out. And as they do, you begin to feel in your body the freedom coming to you. And as you begin to feel the freedom in your body, then your mind begins to click in, and intellectually you begin to connect with that. Now, this mindfulness helps us to check in to where we're off, checks into where we're on, and it prevents us from actually relapsing. So when we can take a moment, Mel Robbins, she calls it the 5-second rule. And when you decide that you're going to go ahead and use again, or you're going to hit that pipe again, or you're going to do some kind of behavior that you know is unmanageable, but you're going to do it anyway, what if, just what ifing, you do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and in that 5 seconds, it gives you enough time to have clarity to begin to breathe through that situation and to be able to see it for what it is. Addiction affects you on 3 different levels: spiritual, emotional, and physical. Now, you may not think you're unmanageable on a certain area, but I'm going to say this to you. If you are unmanageable in your spirituality, then you're unmanageable in the other 2. Wherever you're unmanageable, that thread goes through all of the other ones. So I want to take a look at this for a little bit. Every virus has a host. Okay, every virus. Every addiction has a host. You didn't just wake up one morning and say, oh, I think I'm going to become an addict. That's going to be my new career. It had a host somewhere. we can stop doing the drugs, we can stop doing the drinking, but we still have the addictive behavior. There's still lying, there's still cheating, there's still hiding, there's still secrets that we have. You know, the most deceptive that we ever are the deception that we have with ourselves. So when we begin to go back and examine, where did this host happen? Sometimes it could be in our DNA. And we begin to look back in our family history, and that addictive DNA has come through the bloodline. And while we need to be responsible for our own actions right now, there needs to be a time that we break that DNA and we're free from it. Because sometimes we are karmically carrying on what has been carried on through our relatives in the past. So I don't want to give you too much today, because I just want to give you the thought of, has your life become unmanageable? The answer is yes. Then we need to just stop and admit, I am powerless over this. I can't do this anymore. My life's unmanageable. I need to find a way. I need to find some help. And I'm going to reach out with radical honesty, open-mindedness, willingness, and accept the help that comes my way. And until next Sunday, when I come to you from San Diego, this is Damien Calment. Be blessed. Have a great day.